morning. This election is about changing the way Middletown does business. I say that because for many years now, GOP majority has become complacent, entrenched, and unwilling to change. They closed the door on public discussion by not allowing them to see agenda items prior to voting. Decisions were made via phone calls to other committee members. Discussion was non-existent. For many meetings, the committee was a rubber stamp, voting yes in harmony. All those yes votes cost us, with higher taxes and a budget that continues to grow out of control. Those votes added up to excessive bonding for projects which were never thoroughly planned or evaluated prior to implementation. The Middletown Arts Center, for example, has cost taxpayers over $8 million and still counting with the extended litigation. Projects like this and other excessive bonding have ballooned to the $85 million of debt we now carry. The annual cost to taxpayers to pay off that $85 million worth of debt is $8.4 million a year. That is $3,864 for each of the 22,000 Middletown households. Our debt service payments are more than 1/7 of our annual budget. The truth is, the GOP majority has been spending beyond our means, and we got stuck with the bill. I plan to change that. The time has come to put an end to excessive bonding. It's called being frugal, and in these tough economic times, it's required. I propose that any large capital projects be thoroughly planned and include detailed budget estimates. We should present those plans to the public and the estimates for their input before taking action. Larger projects should be put out for referendum and ask the voters what they really want. No more bonding first and asking questions or finding hidden costs later. Above all, we must keep an eye on what our taxpayers can afford, not how much the law says we are allowed to bond. As a committee, we must limit borrowing to essentials and live within our means. The tax increase in this year's budget was 7.1%, including the use of deferred school taxes to lower the increase. There was a lot of finger-pointing at Trenton, but the committee failed to take responsibility for their own financial decisions. We can cut spending here in Middletown, and we can reduce taxes. We just have to sharpen our pencil. For example, the committee majority has budgeted roughly $600,000 for legal expenses out of a $62 million budget. In comparison, the school district budgeted $235,000 in legal expenses for a $140 million budget. That means on a percentage basis, the township spends close to 5 times the amount on legal costs as a school district. The professional contract given our township attorney establishes a $50,000 base salary with $310,000 budgeted for legal spending at $125 an hour. But in Atlantic Highlands, the same attorney bills at $115 an hour. Does this make sense? This attorney regularly bills for 200 hours a month or more than 50 hours a week. Some days he is billed for more than 20 hours in a single day. Legal costs like this are outrageous, and I propose several measures to bring them under control. One is that we implement a subcommittee structure within the township committee with assignments for all committee members. A finance committee would review all legal spending. Estimates of proposed legal actions would be reviewed and approved by the committee before incurring added legal costs. A Blue Ribbon Budget Advisory Committee would be established to review the budget in its entirety. They would be given unfettered access to all budget documents to review and develop budget recommendations before the Township Committee. Finally, legal professional contracts would be capped at a not-to-exceed amount. I strongly believe that spending can be cut while maintaining services. Middletown must change the way it does business. Our residents deserve nothing less. We can no longer afford the way the GOP majority has handled municipal finances. The change that was begun was the election of Democratic leaders Pat Short and Sean Burns has brought increased accountability, budget cuts, and more discussion on the issues. I ask you to complete that change by electing my running mate, Jim Grenovich, and myself, Pat Walsh, on November 4th. Remember, the problems of the past cannot be solved by those that created them. It's time for new leaders now.